The relaxed lunge is going to stretch the hip flexors. Start with your legs in a lunge 90-90 position with your front leg and your back leg both at 90 degrees. Neutralize the pelvis by squeezing the glute of the back leg, and your shoulders should be in line with your hips. After neutralizing the pelvis and getting in the proper position, slowly rock forward while keeping that back glute squeezed. You should feel it right in the front of your hip. Once you get comfortable with this, you can reach to the ground on the inside of your body. Make sure you keep that glute squeezed on the back leg and the hip rotated forward. You can hold this position relaxed or active by raising your knee off the ground, by pushing your toe into the ground. You can start with just your hands, but over time, the goal is to get first the outside elbow to the ground and then the inside elbow to the ground. You can also rotate and reach to the sky on the inside of the front leg to add a stretch in the upper back. There are a few ways to increase the intensity or switch up the variations for this stretch. You can place your back leg up against the wall to increase the intensity, or you can use a bench. Place one leg straight and flat right up against the bench while the other leg is swung around and up like this. The goal is to get the hip of that back leg onto the bench by squeezing the glute, and the more you extend your upper body, the more stretch. Once you get comfortable with this position, you can try to reach back and grab your back foot and pull the heel as close to your glutes as possible. You can even elevate the incline on the bench to help you progress the stretch as much as you need. And again, we want to make sure that the glute is squeezed and that the pelvis is neutral so that the extension is coming from the hip and you're not just arching your lower back. And we still want to keep that hip rotated in, and now the goal is to get that hip to the bench while getting the heel as close to the butt as possible. Just like the other variations, you want to keep the hip of the back leg rotated straight forward. A good way of telling this is where your foot is pointed. If it's pointed out, then your hip is probably rotated out. If it's pointed straight back or in, then your hip is rotated forward and in. And to further add some intent while you're holding your foot in this stretch, you can either think of bringing the heel towards your butt as you're stretching, or you can think of pressing your foot up against your hand as you pull your heel towards your butt. They both look the same, but the intent is different.